We often see film crews holding a commencement ceremony. Each time, the pictures show the slaughtering of pigs and sheep, with the main creators holding high incense and receiving a red cloth together, which shows the importance the crew attaches to the ceremony. So why hold this ceremony? Today's story comes from a semi-divine person in the crew, who participated in the filming of a movie in Taiyuan. This movie was filmed in a village near Taiyuan, called Yuan Village, for about 1 or 2 years. The commencement ceremony was originally going to be a big event, but due to time constraints, it was simply held at the shooting location of the first season, and then the filming started immediately. At that time, they filmed all day, finished work, and there was no more of the scene, so the crew left. A few days later, there was a night scene. The director was not satisfied with the shooting location at the time, so he decided to change to Yuan Village. That night, when the group of the crew moved to this place, it was already very late, and there were no locals. When all the staff were ready, they were about to start. At this time, the sound engineer suddenly said that the sound field was not good. At that time, almost all the sound recording equipment was in the same period, not like the current dubbing, so it was more particular about the sound environment. The director asked the sound engineer, and he said that he could always hear the sound of the suana, but could not find the source for a long time. At that time, the whole crew was rushing to grab Mr. Ma's part, because Mr. Ma's schedule was full the next day. If he wanted to go back, he had no choice but to grit his teeth and finish his part first. Then time passed quickly. Around 1:30 in the morning, a makeup artist suddenly screamed and was scared to scream. Our netizen Xiaohan has been in charge of the day's work, and was very angry at the time, and directly scolded, "What the hell are you doing? Don't you know you have to record? It's too cold, and it's even colder in the middle of the night, everyone is wasting time, and they don't want to go back, and they want to rest early. Let's talk about a digression. Don't think Xiaohan is making a fuss. The real crew is like this, with very obvious job levels. It can't be helped, after all, everyone is very tired, and every second is burning money." Then at this time, the director called Xiaohan and said that Xiaohan should not be angry, don't blame him, there was really a problem just now. There is something in the picture, and the child let the cameraman play back the material as soon as he heard it. It's amazing, there is no such video, the video is a number, but it disappeared directly, jumping a number, as if going directly from A to C. The camera is a red epic, so friends who know the machine should know that the early red is really prone to losing materials, heat, and crashes. Xiaohan didn't make a fuss, and said to the director, "Okay, let's do it again quickly, don't mess around, it's cold and sleepy in the middle of the night." Then the director changed an angle directly. This jib arm is a camera equipment that can rise with the cameraman. Let's take a panoramic shot. At that time, Xiaohan sat directly next to the director to watch the monitor. Okay, 321 started. About 10 seconds later, the picture on the monitor suddenly jumped. Then a child appeared at the position of the lower left corner of the bridge in the picture, about 10 years old, squatting there, pointing at the camera and laughing. Xiaohan was shocked directly. All the staff next to the monitor saw it. The cameraman was almost scared to fall from the jib arm. Everyone quickly stopped working, gathered together to watch the playback with the camera. It's not good looking, but as soon as you look, you find that all the materials shot at the position of the bridgehead have turned into snowflakes. At this time, Mr. Ma came in the afternoon and said not to worry. He often encountered these situations when he was filming in Hong Kong, and arranged for Xiaohan to take out the incense burner, and everyone offered incense together. What about this thing the crew is always ready? Well, I was originally going to continue the start, but there was another moth when burning incense. The lighter couldn't be lit. It's that kind of gear lighter. There was wind at the time, but everyone was around a circle, and the wind couldn't get in at all, but this lighter couldn't be lit. But what's strange is what if you take it aside to light a cigarette, there is no problem. This Xiaohan is also the first time they have encountered such a thing. They all looked at each other, looking at the old man Ma in the afternoon. The old man sighed and said, "Forget it, stop working. Then adjust the schedule, make up for the play." So the crew could only pack up. On the way back, the old man told Xiaohan a lot of stories he experienced in the crew. So after arriving at the hotel, Xiaohan went straight to the editor who was with the group and asked him to export the materials from the card. As a result, the card for the night scene was filmed in the middle of the night, and the video number had a long time, but there was no all-black screen. The next day, Xiaohan arrived at the shooting location and asked people in the village, afraid of what the villagers would say. They said that the day after they finished filming the first time and left, that afternoon at the bridgehead, a child was directly crushed by a truck after school. And the night they went to shoot for the second time, it happened to be the child's head 7. To be honest, this matter is really mysterious. Just 2 nights ago, I also encountered something. I have taught this 12-episode short play of Duyan before, the Special Affairs Department. You should understand this name. So a while ago, this was finally reviewed, and I was also started here. Our kind of small play, of course, doesn't want to do any ceremony, right? As a result, at 3 o'clock the night before yesterday, I was introducing my short play work in a long corridor. The cameraman was in front of me, the light was one in front of me, and one behind me was a silhouette light, and other people were taking vertical screens on the side. At the end of the corridor behind me was a square, and there was no one at 3 o'clock in the morning. As a result, after the shoot, the cameraman called me to look at the monitor. When I watched the playback, there was a person standing on the square at the end of the corridor behind me, vaguely facing the direction of the camera. At that time, I asked the light brother behind, and he said he didn't see anyone. Then it took about 30 seconds after the shoot for me to look at the monitor. I just looked around the square, and there was nothing. What's strange is that it was normal when I made up for it later. So I don't know if it was a vagrant who just passed by or what, but to be honest, when I turned around and saw other colleagues standing in the corridor looking at me, I was really nervous. But nervous or not, I was definitely not panicked. Well, see you next story.